and nobody is going to talk me out of the love that I carry. Because it's so easy. It's so easy to live in the other world and to be a Democrat and this and that and always fighting all this stuff. But once we're in right relationship, living the way of earth, living the way of consciousness, living the way of love and the prayer, all that goes away. It just goes away. It's a way that we see beyond the illusion and see to that beautiful heart-centered place. And in my teachings, we all come from the same place. So everything begins with thank you. Just okay, thank you. When I begin my day, it's thank you. Thank you for allowing me to be here. Thank you for another opportunity.
Standing bear, standing bears, standing bears. We have come here today to honor you. Your graduation into the role of an ancestor for all of us. We call in all the ancestors, the guides, the animals, the trees, and the spirits from the east. The new day that it brings to us as the birds sing, as the morning opens. And I want you to ask your ancestor right now to tell you what is the thing that is close to you right now that you can be grateful for. We call in the ancestors and the spirits of the South, the feminine, playful ones. And we ask them to tell us who in our life needs kindness now. We call in the spirits of the West, the ones of boundaries and maturity and letting go, and also of the bear and of hibernation and of going within. And we're going to ask our ancestors, our standing bear right now, what heavy truth am I holding on to that I'm ready to heal? And finally, we go to the north, to the spirits of flight, the ones that can see far and see the bigger picture. And I want you to ask the ancestors now, what is the bigger picture of my life that I'm not seeing yet? What is the bigger picture of my life that I'm not seeing yet? Thank you, everyone. And I'm going to call now Dr. Hertog to open a prayer. And if you guys
Thank you, beloved Zanka. Thank you, all of you gathered. We're speaking here from New York City. Our teepee is the stars over not only New York, but over the world. We honor our dear brother, Standing Bear. I, as a spokesperson with my wife, Desiree, have presented his message in our prayers at the United Nations. We represent, as you can see by this teaching cord I'm holding up, the Shavanti nations of South America in Mato Grosso, Brazil. We're honorary chiefs, but we honor the star nations who gather together not to weep, but to rejoice that Standing Bear has joined them as a joyous teacher, a spiritual warrior, a happy warrior, a man of many gifts and knowledge whose legacy will continue with each of us. And the meaning of this is why he was called into paradise, into the higher worlds at this time. And in my devotion, I have felt he was called because the nations of the world, the tribes, are being gathered. As we are all being gathered for ascension work, this is the time that we almost face the death of the old and and the coming of the new. And thus this moment is a celebration of not of death, but of life over death. This is the moment the stars speak through us as we realize the message of Standing Bear was to bring the Divine Mother out into the public, out into the nations of the world. Many elders were critical of his methods, but his methods were true and honest, to share with all nations the secrets of the great tribal nations. And so to you, Divine Spirit, we honor the work of our brother Standing Bear. We honor his gifts of spirit that we will continue. We honor his beloved Zenka in the work that she is called to do, to join the gathering of the tribes. For each of us represents the 13th tribe that gathers the others that have not been able to come together. But now, as Mother Earth has cried, and we have heard her cry, we realize we have a brother in the stars who will teach us and show us our responsibilities as we lead the nations to overcome the paradigms of greed, materialism, war, separation, grief, and tears. But let these tears pass into tears of happiness, knowing that the soul of a righteous one lives forever, that Standing Bear will be with us when we are on the other side together. And so we honor these moments of life, eternal life. We do not grieve because we know the path of the indigenous has been the grief of Mother Earth, but also the joy and the call now into ascendancy.
And so we feel Standing Bear being with us from now on, watching out for us, guiding us, helping us in our ways upon the earth, because he has the greater overview. He is in the heavens, and he knows what's taking place on the earth and in the heavens. And this is where he needs to be, although we love him and we miss him sorely. We also want to call forth a greater power of sacred names to acknowledge the power of the Gematria Gaia, the power of the earth, in the sacredness of the matrix of life that he is now ascended into, that greater, higher glory.
Gematria is the science of the divine expressions or frequencies of sacred language, sacred words, sacred expressions. Gaia is the expression of Mother Earth that we have forgotten. She cries, but we are here with Standing Bear to continue this work. The illusion of separation is overcome as we prepare ourselves to enter into the gathering of the tribes already in the 5th dimension. We come today to celebrate the ongoing work that has brought us together. For one of the great secrets of the teaching of the Keys of Enoch is that the coming of the divine teachers will come first to the indigenous peoples, especially to the lands of the Hopi, especially to the lands of the Kogi in South America, especially to the lands of the Shavanti in the depths of Mato Grosso, Brazil. We honor Standing Bear's transition because it represents our own transition. From this time forth, let us rejoice in the great white spirit, in the gathering of brothers and sisters of all backgrounds who choose to take the higher path of divine service. And I'm going to intone now in the ancient Hebrew, Aramaic, the vibration of Gematria Gaia, as we see now the portals of ascension open amongst the nations of the earth, from North America to South America, and then across to Africa, to Asia, around once again to the Americas.
And into the heavens with Standing Bear.
So please join me and Desiree
tonight
as we sing together, and ask all of you to join in this mantra, which means Gematria, the science of Mother Nature, being now opened
and augmented into the higher matrix of life.
7 times for the 7 seals, the 7 chakras. Gematria Gaia. Gematria Gaia. Gematria Gaia. Gematria Gaia. Come on, dear God. Come on, dear God. Come on, dear God.
And we're here also with some other friends that we're going to have join us if we can at this time, Alan Steinfeld and Tara.
Yeah, I just want to say, Zinka, we're with you and your love as a leader of this tribe of visionaries. When you bring a beloved into this tribe, that beloved is our beloved. And thank you for hosting us that day when we all met standing there. And I just liked him. I just liked his energy. He took me outside and he said, look at the lights up there. And we looked at the top of the hill and he said, do you see those blue beings? And I did see those blue beings. And he said, they're here for us. And that's just a nice memory I had of his visionary qualities, his essence, and his love for something bigger. So thank you, Zinka, for bringing such a beautiful being into all of our lives. And here's our friend Tara.
Hi, Zinka and everyone. It's such an honor to be here with all of you honoring Standing Bears. And even though I didn't get the opportunity to meet him in the 3D, being here with you and being here with everybody in the Hurt Talks, I can feel his spirit here. And it's a very loving presence, and just here for you, love you, and thank you for having us here.
We love you, Zinka.
We love you so much.
We love Standing Bear.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for that beautiful prayer.
We honor life. We honor eternity. We honor the spirit that reminds us that we're part of the infinite way. And the illusion of three-dimensional life on Earth is the concept of death, which very few can understand, but we must pass through this portal, this doorway, this space, not only into the unknown, but into the known. And that is why the great secrets held by the federations down to the centuries is unconquerable.
And we know that Standing Bear is with us all right now, watching, hearing, and listening. Thank you so much. I'm going to mute now.
Thank you. I'd like to bring up Kristen Kaufman, who is our songbird.
Thank you, beloved Zinka. Oh. As you mentioned, Zinka, I'm just taking a moment to listen. Before I play, just listening to this space, listening for the voice of our dear brother, Standing Bear on the wind, on the heart winds. What an honor to travel with Standing Bear in Japan for such a sacred journey in 2024. To experience his prayerful heart and deep, deep soulful mission. Thank you, thank you, thank you, brother, for your life, for your love. And then just a month ago, spoon bending in Portugal with Zenka and Standing Bear, and we were all so joy-filled. And I'm just going to remember that beautiful energy that we all shared that day that was otherworldly and yet so human too, as we tapped into our gifts and remembered that there's so much more. And as I listen now, as I call this song in that's never been written, let's all remember that there is so much more going on here, that Standing Bear is here. Let's invite him really in through every note and know that as I'm playing, we are playing together. I'm tapping in. Send your intentions into the field. Send your open hearts. Send your listening. Together, let's just really hold this field and see what wants to come through. And I will be doing my very best to listen and listen to our brother.
Into
watching you swing your way back to the mother, straight into her embrace. We feel each stroke back to her arms, and we see the light on your face. Remember to love, he says, deep in your heart. You can always choose to love, love and forgive all the past. Now is your time to make the love last in each moment. Remember to love, dear brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers. Remember to love. Loving is always the way. Love you, Zenka. So much love. Love you, Zenka.
Wow, all wrapped up in a song. Thank you so much. I'm going to open the floor, but I'm going to say a few words. If you'd like to speak, I see Tom's here, his brother. I know Matthew wanted to say a few words. Since he's here, I think we can just talk directly to him. And he knows what I love about him and what he's brought to my life. But I'm going to tell you right now, honey, once again. I want to thank you because I felt that you and I really found a place where the masculine and feminine were at peace together. It was like the walls had come down, the grievances, the confusion, the lack of communication. And what was left, it was balance and purity and wholehearted respect. I respect you so much. Thank you for being the divine masculine in my life. Thank you for showing me courage. I feel like my posture has grown an inch since I knew you. There's something about the way that you stood, that unnegotiable truth that you held. You had watered so much life around you because you made always it so clear. It's either life-giving or it's not life-giving. And the life that grew around you was so strong and so solid. It was something to trust. I witnessed your calm and your strength. Thank you for teaching me calm mind, peaceful heart, absolute wealth. You transferred to me a state of being, a state of wholeness, a state of understanding. You like to be out in the woods because sometimes people in the world are not always as kind and loving. But you taught me that all you have to do is open up the door and look outside into the wilderness, and that the whole world speaks, and that there's a ton of goodness and wholeness and rightness and balance in natural law to hold us up and help us create the world of wholeness. You taught me that circle medicine and bringing the people together as a circle obliterates hierarchies, importances, and most importantly, it begins a continuation of relationship. And that's what we're in. A big, huge relationship with each other. Thank you for teaching me reciprocity, curiosity, joy. I will carry you with me in every act of love that I do in my life. I know you'll be here helping. And I hope you feel honored today for all the discipline and purity and true heart that you've poured into each and every one of us. We love you. He was definitely a bridge to the world beyond the scene. And I think that comes when we come into balance with each other and ourselves and the world around us. So I'm glad we have forerunners out there showing us what's possible when we invite everyone to the circle and we strengthen the ties between us with courage. And if anyone has some thoughts that they want to share, or stories, or things you want to say to him, he's been coming through on my radios and turning off lights and things like that. So he's definitely here. And how interesting that we're walking around this world thinking that we don't have help, or that we don't have a higher perspective, or we don't have love. But that love is right there waiting for us to open our hearts. Standing Bear definitely unbarricaded my heart. These were part of his prayer of romance that he put in his hair when we first started dating, and he wanted us to be in a sweat lodge before we kissed or anything, which we did. But it was just a true honor to experience a man that had so much control over energy and had such a huge connection to the ancestors. Something I've forgotten. So everybody, I hope that you strengthen your relationship to the ancestors and to each other. Because in that circle of wholeness, that's what we're doing, right? He bridged so many cultures. Nobody was an enemy. And I think that's one thing we got to really keep in mind the coming years. We're finished when everyone sits down at the table together, unfortunately. So how do we do that with grace and honor and leadership? I'm going to open the floor if anyone wants to raise their hand and speak some words with all the ancestors here with us, cheering us on.
Good evening.
Okay.
Hello.
Thank you, Matthew.
May I say something? So the song was absolutely beautiful, and I was singing in my soul language, and there was so much communication with Standing Bear that was going on. It was extraordinary, and I saw him at the heart of everything, which is love, and him kind of saying, I was right. Love is the center of absolutely everything, and he's seeing it and experiencing it. The other thing that I sense very, very strong, there's a lot going on. His presence is very, very strong right now. Is that I saw him walking towards, I don't know what to say other than a new horizon and a new destiny for his soul path. And it was quite extraordinary, actually. And he was confident, he was excited, and he was to what you said earlier, joining other ancestors as a role, as an ancestral guide, not just a typical ancestor, but a wisdom keeper in consciousness to work with other people. I'm not going to say he's an ascended master because that's too short and too labeling for him, but as this energy within consciousness to bring revelation as a guide to others. And that's what he loved, is working with people as a guide to others. I only met him a few times, and I'm really fussy in who I even let near my spirit and my soul. And Zenka came over with Standing Bear, and as soon as I saw this man, I realized that he was something special. And we went through a little ceremony together as he worked on my ancestors, and within 2 minutes, he saw exactly the core wound that needed healing. And I opened my heart and I trusted this man, and his work was extraordinary. And then a few weeks later, I had someone fly in that was going through a crisis that needed some coaching. And I invited Standing Bear to spend some time with him. And when I left the house, this man was heavy with energy, and he was just heavy. And when I came back, he was light, he was crying, he was free. And Standing Bear had helped this man's soul into a place of freedom. And my point is this, the guy was absolutely bloody extraordinary, just a little bit from me knowing him. And I was hoping, because we had a long conversation after we finished the ceremony with this person that flew in, that we would become brothers and peers, because his vision for the world was so tender and so beautiful and so loving that it was like, you've got the juice. You've got the juice, my friend, and I want to hang out with you. So I'd just like to share a little bit more, share that with you. But what I would say is that, as a final closing piece, I'd say this, Zenka, is that he knows how you feel about him. He knows. And you guys are not apart, man. There's bits and pieces of your soul integration that's still resident in your heart. The guy is an alchemist, right? So that loving union between the two of you is not broken, but actually is in place and resonating and beautiful. And yes, he understands that it's difficult because he's in a different, if you will, perspective in reality. But that heart connection is still very, very strong. And, he loves you still very, very deeply, but he just has a bit of stuff to get on with on his next path. So I love you all. Thanks for letting me to speak, and namaste and all that stuff.
Thank you. Big Bear, You're up. And you just need to unmute.
Hi. Tansei. Oki. Watashi maskwa. Hello, my name is Colin Big Bear. I come from the Michel Band First Nation. We're the Bear Clan people up here in northern Canada, and I showed up today to really to honor my brother. This was actually really hard for me to show up today because me and Standing Bear had a very, very close relationship. Um, I was supposed to pick him up at the airport in Kelowna. That's how I met Zenka, and we were going to go to what's called a shake tent ceremony, and this is a real tradition of our tribal people. Where we call in the star people, and we have an elder set up with a tent there. And I went to pick him up at the airport, and somehow Zenka had got a hold of me, and yeah, and then that's when I found out that our brother had he decided to go with the ancestors and to soar with the eagles. So yeah, I want to say a short prayer. I want to say a short prayer, and I want to pray right now, Creator. I pray, Creator. I just thank you, Creator, for giving us all the ability to know our brother, giving us that time with him to learn his wisdom. When he spoke so strong with integrity that you listen, Creator. And I pray, Creator, that you just give us the things we need to see along this journey, Creator. I pray that you give us the things we need to hear along this journey, Creator. I pray that you give us the things we need to say along this journey, Creator. And I pray that you let us lead with an open heart as our brother did. And you give us that divine wisdom, Creator, as we walk this path. A lot of people call it the great divide, what we're going through, but I call it the great healing. And it's the time that Creator, that we all start to sit together, all the nations of the world start to sit together and put aside our political and religious views for the greater good of humanity. I met I was one of Canada's largest political activists, during a time in the COVID era, and our government was really doing some really nasty things. And there was a time where we tried to bring all the First Nations together, the tribal people of Canada, my people, and the rest of Canada together. And that's when I first met Standing Bear, and that was in 2022. And he was one of the few First Nations that really took the call of action to show up, you know, and that shows who he was, you know, just like me. The bear spirit he's the healer and he's the warrior. He protects the forest. He protects the creeks. He protects the deer, the animals. He carries the weight of the world on his shoulders. And he does it in the most humble way. He can pick those berries so gently, but he can also squash you, if he needs to use that power to stand up for what's right and for what's just. And that's the way of our people. That's the Bear Clan people. We've always been those strong warriors and those strong healers. We lead with our hearts. So pretty rare to see me cry, but you know, that's the human in us, right? And I'm gonna miss my brother dearly. And thank you, Zetka, for putting this on for us tonight. When she came out to the Okanagan, I came across a Sundance chief, and we went and sang some ancient honor songs on the water for him, and it was really beautiful. Just that divine intervention of me walking into a Sundance chief that I met about, 20 hours in the other side of the country. I managed to run into him in Kelowna of all places. So we sat on the water and we sang the honor songs for our brother. So, anyways, hi, all my relations, and much love to all of you from the Bear Clan people. Thank you.
Thank you, Big Bear. Thank you for doing the water ceremony. That was one thing that he was adamant about doing, is making sure the water on the tribal lands is safe to drink. And we're going to continue the work. And thank you, Big Bear, for all you're doing. Susan, and then Gary.
Thank you, Zenka. Thank you for bringing life and his life to life through you. I didn't know him. I've been working with the First Nations in Canada and working with uniting the nations as well. So I understand where he's coming from, and we are all here as love. It's from the heart. You spoke of courage, and courage, cour comes from heart in French. It's the French for heart. And that is what you bring here, and that is what he has brought here through you. And I can feel his spirit through you when you're speaking. I feel the warmth, and I feel the embrace, and I feel the unity, which this is bringing together. We are here at this time to unite with courage and to raise the world up out of the darkness and bring it up into the light. And I can see this is what you are doing. This has been your mission from the first time I met you. I know that this has always been your mission, and everything is for a reason. And I am so grateful to be here and for the invitation to be here to honor you and to honor him in this light of love. And I'll say there's a little prayer that was given to me from my spiritual mentor. It's the law of love is the power to show and to shed the light, and thus free all men and women from suggested might. The Lord of love is ever at hand. In the heart is found in the rhythm. I am, I am, I am, I am. I am, 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 I am.
Thank you so much, Susan. Thank you. Gary, you're next. And Rihanna, you're after. Welcome, Gary.
Way, which is in the language of my Eagle people in British Columbia, to say or convey hello. I am what the ancestors call three. What and who the ancestors call three. My name is Gary. Oh, it's a great honor to be here today, because it's a great honor to have crossed paths in this lifetime with the bear that stands. I just wanted to extend love to everyone and all. And also, people say they believe. And not everybody gets the gift of true spiritual connection. And it's none better than another, and it's not a competition, but I have really been gifted on my path in this lifetime in recent years to have certain people that are masters in their own way, not to put anybody on a pedestal or to use inadequate labels such as masters or master healers or none better than another sort of thing. But it really, really was interesting, very interesting and very, very powerful crossing paths with Standing Bear. And Zenka, I would like to say that what I shared with you a couple days ago. I had everybody listening, I had a very last minute, just it was kind of a weird thing. I ended up with the psychic medium, and people call me a hollow bone and a healer and a sage and a seer and a mystic in my own little way. But I was read by a world-class psychic medium the other day, called me out of a crowd, which 20 minutes before I didn't barely knew I was going to even be in that crowd. And Standing Bear was there with the ancestors. And what you may not know, Zenka or Colin, I sent that audio recording to Colin, Big Bear as well, was that those ancestors, the group of ancestors, I can see the overlay say sometimes, but she referenced 20 ancestors, but that was just a term. But where are some of the greats? Tashinka Witko, Tatanka Ayate, Sitting Bull, John Fire Lame Deer, the White Buffalo Calf Woman, and Star Beings. And so it's pretty powerful. But what Standing Bear stepped forward and said through that medium to me saved my life. That his comments, I won't go into any details here. His comments about something relating to my health that audio recording said relates to a medical condition that is extremely rare and extremely difficult to diagnose. And he's exactly right. So I will address that, and that'll be the third time I beat a terminal illness in an odd way in my lifetime. But when I met Standing Bear, he resonated with the secret project to have relation to the sacred dream, Zenka 2038. And so I'm sure he's supporting us all from the spirit world, the other side camp, I like to call it, each in our own way in our own projects. And oddly, it's contrarian world we live in. Oddly, he may be more effective in the spirit world than here. So when we're crying, we can laugh at the same time at the absurdity of the ceremony called life. But I thank Standing Bear for coming through and sharing that sacred knowledge for my own physical path to help me. And I know he'll be there to continue helping the Sacred Dream Project. And when I think it's the Kristen that was singing that beautiful song at the start, there was a bald eagle flying by, and it disappeared and morphed into the lake in front of me, just as she said the word, something to do with swimming up the river or joining the river. Like, it was just weird. But, if the star beings and the Sasquatch or the Bigfoot and my dead grandmother were to walk into the room right now or across my pool deck where I'm sitting, my blood pressure, heart rate wouldn't go up. I've seen quite a few things, but I got to tell you, watching that eagle disappear into the lake, morph just blended right into the lake, it got my attention. And that's just a beautiful gift from Standing Bear. So I love you all with all, and I'm here to support any and all of you in the crowd as we go forward, physically, not just spiritually, but we're still physically here on the front lines of changing the world in a good way. I love you all.
Thank you, Gary, and thank you for the eagle feather, and thank you for everything you do in the world and your work that you're about to do. Oh, Rena.
My dear, dear sister, my dear, beautiful relations, I'm so grateful to be able to hold space with all of you right now and celebrate our beautiful, beautiful brother, Standing Bear. And Gary, I just I can't express how much it means to hear these stories, to hear how Standing Bear has touched all of these lives, which we all know. We know how much impact this soul has had upon the earth and how much impact he continues to have from the realm of the ancestors, and that is an endless, beautiful, virtuous cycle. I am so, I'm so just moved to be here with all of you. And I had a incredibly short time in life to be very, very close to this beautiful human and spirit. And I I'm so grateful, Kristen, my dear sister, for that beautiful, beautiful song. And just to be in the presence of people who have been touched, to hear more of these stories is such one of the blessings of a moment like this, when we get to be together and really and hear all of these different ways this person has moved us. So I would love to share with all of you just how, in this incredibly brief and remarkable time, I had the incredible blessing of traveling through Japan with peace leaders from across the globe with Standing Bear. And I'm not kidding you. When the instant that I met him, we knew that we were family. And we decided in that very moment that we needed to create together. And we made music together the very first day that we met. We just, I've met so many beautiful souls and beautiful soul family on all of these journeys, but I don't think I've ever met someone just this pure, that, and like Colin said, no comparisons, no putting, I love how you said that. There's no pedestals here, but just to lift up and celebrate our brother, which I will do for the rest of my living days. I'm not kidding you. I will be creating songs and singing the songs and celebrating the beauty of this soul that's touched us all, and carrying his wisdom and his teachings with me, and working to pass that on, because I think that's the greatest gift that I can give back to him. And I know what he wants from all of us is to pass on the wisdom of the healing and the unity of all of humanity, and how much we can take our pain and forgive and turn that into beauty and into creation on this planet. Traveling through Japan, I sang with Standing Bear, and he played his beautiful drone flute, and we created incredible ceremony in front of the atomic bomb dome in Hiroshima on the International Day of Peace. There were so many indigenous elders that were sharing wisdom from across many nations and across many lands. And if I only had that one journey with him, I would be so grateful. But we just got to travel together again through Portugal and the Holo movement. And because of that, it felt even more strange and even more a shock to lose him so suddenly. It felt like we were just beginning. But just to have a day, to have 1 minute, 1 hour with this soul can last a lifetime, when you're touched by someone like this. But to have the opportunity, I knew in Portugal, I told you, Zenka, that I knew I needed to spend time with the two of you. And then I turned around and you were right there. The universe just brought you to me. And we had this beautiful experience to have that whole night together, just sharing stories. And then we ran across the beach and found the full moon, and flocks of birds flying into the moon. And then Bear disappeared for a minute, and we were like, where's Standing Bear? And we turned around, and of course he had gone to the ocean. He was standing there by himself with the moon and the birds flying into the rising moon. And I could not be more grateful that is literally my last memory of this beautiful, beautiful human who is beyond human. And now with the ancestors, and will continue to watch over us and continue to care for us and continue to thank us and continue to be proud of us and steward us and mentor us and be so grateful that we are his family. And we got to hold ceremony together and sing and play to people and lead them into an ancient water cistern and bring the beauty of humanity together and call in the ancestors. And I just, I just want to share what he shared with me and with all of us. Every time he came together with our soul family, he said, if no one has told you today that they love you, I love you. And I do. I love all of you with my whole heart. And every time he said that to everyone, I know that he meant it with his entire heart and soul. And Zenka, when you told me and reminded me that he really loved me, I mean, nothing could mean more in the world. And to know that, to carry that with all of us in our heart, in our soul, to know that Standing Bear, of all people, of all spirits in the world, this incredible human who carried the force and the strength and the beauty and the soul and the forgiveness and the power. And yes, he could squash you if he wanted to. I love that. But he didn't want to squash us. He wanted to hug us. He wanted to squash us by hugging us all. Just know you are so loved here and always by Standing Bear. Like, how remarkable is that? How fortunate are we? And I am so sad. I'm so sad that he's gone so soon. And it's too soon. And I want to give you all the hugs in the world, Zenka. I love you so much. And Tom and his whole beautiful family and all of his indigenous brothers and sisters out there, thank you so much for being here and supporting him and supporting all of us and sharing your stories. But yes, today I am sad and I am so grateful that I had any moment and chance to know this beautiful, beautiful person. Thank you so much for giving me the chance to share that. I love you, Standing Bear.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We're going to do the shares, and Kristen is going to close with the song. But right now, Melissa, welcome. It's great to have you here.
Mute. There we go. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, but you blocked your video. And now you're mute.
Technology is not tech.
Standing Bear did a healing for Melissa several weeks ago.
Yeah. So I'm just going to stay unmuted because it's not about me anyways. And I think that is what the universe is saying. I just wanted to validate everyone here, and I wanted to validate him. The first time I met him was hellos and how are yous and a quick catch up. But when I really met him, it was on the top of a mountain top at night. And we were talking to the stars. And I like to see different star systems that people are at. And I asked to see his. And it was deeper than any star system that I have seen in one human being. And I remember just going into silence and saying, whoa, I've never seen anyone so ancient. The next time that I got to spend with him was this beautiful moment while we were in the water and it was nighttime. And he was telling a story. And it was the first time that I realized he was a storyteller. And it was because I watched the stars dance with his words. I watched the moon bend. I watched the energy flow. And I halted him at that time. And I said, do people know what you are? Do they know what you do? And he said, most of them stopped listening. And I don't know how to help them. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should speak louder, if I should speak faster, if I should speak more proficient. To which I said, no, Speak slowly. Speak silently. But as a storyteller, you forgot to tell them how to listen, as many of the teachers and elders have. They say listen, but they didn't say how. And it was one of the greater lessons. And I had a student that was with me at the moment, and I had tried to get her to listen. And he said, tell me how to listen. And I said, I want you to ask your body. And when you're ready, tell us. And this is a lesson that he was ready to share for the world. And I know that he was excited because he realized what he had been missing, but what he had all along. And so he stopped the conversation and everyone that was in the pool. And he said, I'm going to tell you a story now. And I want you to listen. I want you to close your eyes and have no vision. I want you to close your ears and don't listen. I want you to feel my words. I want you to feel my presence. I want you to feel my energy. And I want the universe to tell my story. Because when I speak, it's not about my presence in this life. It's not about my actual words. It's not about what you see me saying. It's how you feel me and what is happening in the story. And it's ironic. 3 days later, he passed away. His stories written in the sky. And I have to pause because the story that he told, I'm sure the brothers here know, was of the 3 boys who wanted to be the mighty hunters, like their brother and their father, and how they went into the forest and they brought home this kill that they were so proud of. And as that happened, and he said it, a coyote dropped a rabbit at the end of the lawn and started squealing. And a big fight happened. And we heard his story come true in this physical world. And as he went on to talk about the life, that everything, how the birds sing and their sweet songs are our gift. The stars twinkled, and birds at night who don't sing sang. So what I know about him, and I have other stories, he did do the great healing. And the great healing, I have neuroblastoma, a terminal cancer. And he said, it's no worry. You just need love. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing darkness. There's no entity. There's toxins and lack of love. And he filled me with love. And he showed my friend, and he showed Zenka, who's also my friend, how to properly fill someone with love. And I watched those women learn how to love so unconditionally in his presence. In my last and final moment with him, it was a bittersweet moment of an interview with him for an upcoming film about water. And we spoke about the importance of water. And we had talked about water. We had been in the water. We talked about water before. And one thing that he said is when he passes, it's going to be to the water he returns. And that's where the real life is. So, well, he moves on. And then he moves through you. I would like to gift you his lesson. And feel him, not with your eyes, not with your ears, but with his energy. and his silence and the universe to show. Find him in love and find him in water. Because he might be a standing bear on this earth, but he's a dancing bear over there. And he's dancing through all of us and all of the energy. And I know he loves you all and you feel it. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Melissa. He definitely had a presence that you could feel. He had embodied everything to the point of it being, his energy was just there. I often tell people the first time I touched his body, I couldn't speak for 30 minutes because I felt so calm and so peaceful. And I never felt that before. He overrode every cell in my body, and I literally could not speak for half an hour. When we embody these teachings and truths, we're not done until we become them. Thank you, Melissa. Coffee, welcome.
Oh man, this is going to be a short one, but I just want to express so much gratitude for you hosting this memorial ceremony. That website was absolutely beautiful that was built in his honor. I've just spent the last couple days going through it, and I don't have a bunch of memories with him, but I absolutely remember meeting him and having all of us go to dinner in Japan when that first meeting happened. He stuck out so much, and it was at a time where I was having some kind of psychic abilities show up with my sight, and seeing him standing in his power, his aura was so magnificent, and it spoke to me in a way that I don't see a lot of masculine figures embody. It was so gentle, and it did feel like water, like the gentle strength of water, the gentle power of water. And him and your guys' relationship, and also my connection to experiencing the Native American ways and practices. It was interesting, the parallel, because I was just getting into sweat lodges as well as you're starting this relationship and learning about these ways that are so ancient and so connected to the earth. And I just admire him so greatly, and I'm really excited to know how he is going to be here guiding us from the other side in this next phase of this great transition that is about to happen for all of humankind. So obviously the work over there that he's going to be doing is going to be very important, and the work that he initiated and started with you, Zenka, is equally as important. You being and facilitating actual bridges with the science that you're figuring out how to connect all of us to these other sides. It's a whole year doing what it's supposed to be doing. And even though it's so sad, and grief is such a tough thing, being on this side and not knowing what the fuck is going on over there. Like, why do we have to be stuck with such this limited perspective, but trusting that we will have that more open up as we become more connected. So thank you for being a reminder.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And yeah, he did say that it opens as you connect to everything. Carol, thank you. Thank you, Coffee. That was beautiful.
Yes. Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for all of this. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is so profound. I grew up in the colonial world, and I was so attracted to, all this indigenous art, this Native American stuff, and I decorated my whole house with it. And I never really knew or understood why. I just had this profound attraction. And then I was on the internet, and I came across, Stanny Bear and We Are the Medicine, and met him. And it was like, oh my gosh, I knew you before. And it was just amazing. Um, and he, and through all of that, through his teachings and everything, he brought back what was sacred that I knew before. And I had to like learn it all and everything, and I so absorbed it, and it all was, like the past coming back, to the memory, in my DNA. And in the grandfather teachings, the medicine wheel, just the whole thing. And he's the most profound teacher that I've had in this life. And I'm just so grateful. And I want to tell you thank you, Standing Bear. I love you so much. And I feel, he's going to be able to, he loved Mother Earth so much. And all the animals and nature and all of that. And the connection that we have. And I just want the whole world to know, and I'm playing my part or whatever to pass it on. And what I'd like to do, Standing Bear, thank you so much. I want to sing you the Sacred Water song that through you I was taught by grandmother Denise Miller. So I'd like to do that right now, if that's okay.
It's beautiful.
Hopefully I can sing okay. Nibe Gijagego Kimi Gwecha Wayne Migo Gija Wayne Nimigo Nibe Gija Gego Gimme Gwecha Wayne Migo Gija Wayne Nimigo Nibe Gija Gego Give which away me go. Gisha Wayne, me go. Me be, Gisha go. Gimme which away me go. Gisha Wayne, me go. Miigwech, Geechee Manitou. Thank you. I love you.
Thank you, girl.
I love
Ryan.
you all.
Ryan and then Jim.
Hello, everybody. If it's okay with you, I'd like to introduce myself and then sing a memorial song for him.
Yeah.
Okay. Nahame takiapi kangi tate yomni amachiapi. Dakota naha spayola ikchewe chasha naha iashi chahemacha. Now, I used to sing for funerals on the reservation before I left it. There's a song that Lakota, Dakota people sing at funerals, and it goes like this. Mato na je Tokya ale Tokya ilale Mitako ye ko Onichi lepelo hey hey oi Chea uwe Chea uwe o te hikelo hey hey oi hey ya hey ya hey ya hey ya hey ya way ya way ya well hey hey oh Cheawa away, Cheawa away, O te hikelo, hey, hey, oh. And normally we do 4 push-ups of that, but for the sake of time, I just did about 1 and then a tail at the end. Now, if you don't speak Lakota, the words to that song, Tokia ilale nitakia ku onichi lepelo. Chea uwe otehikelo. It means, a standing bearer, you have left somewhere. Your relatives are looking for you. They are coming, crying. They are coming, crying. It is a great hardship. So, Wapila Tanka for letting me give that song to him, and thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Ryan. That was really special. I loved hearing that. Grey Wolf.
Hey, that was beautiful, Brother Ryan. Appreciate that. I was just sitting here quietly, and that was my intention. But I've got 9 members of a youth council that are part of a group I'm part of, and who heard Standing Bear 2 times when he did things here, at our place here. And so they asked to listen. And they asked me, well, how come you're not going to speak? And anyway, we did a ceremony here a few nights ago. And then some of us sat and talked inside afterwards. And I have a light that kept blinking on and off while we were doing it. And I had somebody come to fix it afterwards, and they tore it apart, and they can't find anything wrong, and it's been fine since, until about 10 minutes ago. It's blinking again. So I don't know if it's a blinking bear or not. I just wanted to Yeah, I ran into Standing Bear some years ago. Not even sure how many, but it was still when he was Wayne Snellgrove. He really wasn't using Standing Bear yet. He was in Florida, I believe it, yeah. And we got to know each other online, and then at Standing Rock much more closely. And after Standing Rock, I was asked to come to Florida and help with the water battles. And knowing he was there, I reached out, and we did lodge together. And I believe some of his family down there were actually in that lodge, as was a young man who's a nephew of mine now, who I work with, and I didn't even know at that time. So these circles keep connecting. So what I feel from my brother is he hasn't left, he's not gone. We all are going to carry on, and I hear all these different things that many of us were doing with him. He and I have sat here making lists as he was pushing us to build a larger lodge, which we did before he left. We're going to carry that work on, and he'll be doing it with us. It's just from a slightly different place. Because for me, I mean, the circle, sure, our physical body drops away, but not our energy. And so I consider him right here. Joking, because he was a good jokester. Seriously making lists about things that needed to be done. Talking about the young people. Talking about how we get more elders involved, on and on and on. As I'm sure with many of you, it was a long list. So I'm happy to work with any of you, all of you, whatever. Connect when needed to carry on that work, because that's such a big part of what he was here to share. I really feel that. People listen to him in a very good way. And you didn't have to be indigenous to listen to him. You could be anybody. And there's people who've come to me and said, you knew him, didn't you? Well, you know, I really resonated to what he was saying. But I'm not native. And I said, well, you don't have to be. These are common truths. These are truths for all of us to share and to hold. And I will always thank him for that. And however much longer I walk, that's a big part of what I'll carry. And thanks for putting this together, Zenka. It was a great idea.
Thank you so much, and thanks for all the work you're doing with the lodge and your show and the students. Okay, we have a few more here. Gwen. Welcome, Gwen.
Thank you so much. I wasn't going to speak, but for a couple of reasons I'm going to speak, because if I'm quiet, the moment might pass. First, I want to just say how beautiful this is. And Senka, bless you. Bless you so much for being with Standing Bear. And I want to talk about the last time that I was in the We Are the Medicine Circle with him. It was about 7 months ago. And I had to go through a medical procedure that required me to fast. And I remember, like, I got the consultation and I was like complaining. I was like, oh, I have to go 3 days without eating now. And like, I remember the morning that I said that, I felt like he was kind of laughing. And I was like, you know, I don't know why this is so funny. Like, I don't know how I'm going to make it. And but I did it. And I did it without any struggle. And each morning I would go and I'd be like, okay, I'm still not eating. I'm doing okay. And like, he didn't say much, but he would laugh because, like Jim just said, he was kind of a joker. And, um, and so I went for the procedure, and when they were wheeling me out of the surgical room and bringing me into recovery, I opened my eyes, and there was this piece of artwork on the wall in the hospital, and it was of a Plains Indian. It was just an incredibly beautiful piece of artwork. And at that moment, I really felt like Bear was with me, like he had been with me all along. And somebody else shared tonight. Oh, and I want to just say that the result of that was that I was healthy and everything was good. And so that was an incredible blessing. And I really felt like so supported by Standing Bear. And then recently, when he passed over, when he's made this transition, so I took a break for a little while because I was feeling as if my work life, my political life was at odds with these groups. I was like, I have to settle into this new position. And we did talk about, the changes that we all know are upon us, and the responsibility that I might bear by coming into this position that I came into. And so I took a break for a while to focus on my new position. And so when he made this transition, it brought me back. And I realized that the key is to stay on track in terms of like honoring my ancestors. And I just want to speak to Colin Big Bear, because he's up in Canada with the Bear Nation, and he spoke about the shaking tent ceremony. And so my grandfather was a medicine man, one of my grandfathers, and from that same nation. And so I've read about the history of this with my grandfather. And so anyway, so when I came back, I was connecting with Jenny and just trying to be supportive. And I on the first day that or one of the first or second days that I came back, I experienced a baby bunny, and I was like thinking like, wow, I didn't know, the baby bunnies are coming again. This is the cycle of life. And then 2 hours later, I went to a different location and I saw 3 more baby bunnies. And then as I turned my camera on to attend the meeting at 8 o'clock, I walked to the end of the tree line and I turned to my left and there was a doe, there was a deer, and we just looked at each other eye to eye. And I was like, okay, this is about the cycle of life. And then I came home because I was, I was out in nature for the meeting, and I came back. And when I came home, there were just like so many fireflies, like so many fireflies. And I was like, wow, like this world is such a beautiful place. This earth is such a beautiful place, and I want to stay here. And then I realized I needed to go to the hospital because I had been in pain with sciatica. I'm a dancer, and so I was having pain. And I went in, and this is 6 days ago now. They did a CT scan, and they miraculously found a mass in my bladder, and it is cancer. And when they told me that, I felt that I'm going to be okay. And I really believe that Standing Bear led me there. If it weren't for Standing Bear crossing over and transitioning like that, I might not have come back to the groups. I might not have come back. But I really wanted to come back to be of support to my friends who I missed a lot. And so I just wanted to share that experience because so many of us are talking about his natural healing ability, his sense of humor. I think one of the things I loved about him the most was his sense of humor, because that just fixes so many things. So thank you, and thank you for the beautiful music and just everything. And I know that Standing Bear is right with us. It's just because we can't see him doesn't mean that he's not with us. And I know that for a fact because I myself have had experiences with death, and I know that he's completely everywhere. In fact, he could be anywhere at any time. He barely needs to think it, and he's there. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Gwen. Yeah, he showed me 10 minutes of a bunny leading my car up the road. 10 minutes, one car ahead, a mile and a half leading me. And he confirmed it was him. So yeah, super magical. Kristen is going to do Love and Gratitude. She is going to be getting on a flight in only 2 hours, and it was so sweet of her to be here and to write that song live for him. And she's going to do Love and Gratitude, and then I would like to bring on Standing Bear's brother and Tara to close us out. Thank you so much, Kristen. I'll leave it to you now.
Thank you. This has been so beautiful. So beautiful. I felt like Love and Gratitude was the perfect song to end with. I wrote it for Dr. Emoto's memorial in Japan, and seeing that you met Standing Bear in Japan, Zenka, and there was so much beauty shared with Rhiannon and so many of us in Japan. When Dr. Emoto saw the water crystal for Love and Gratitude, he said it was the most beautiful, this is it, the most beautiful water crystal he had ever seen. And it told him, and in its purity, he realized that the energies of love and gratitude are the most important for us to focus on in this life. And as I looked over at the water crystal just a little bit ago, I realized, oh my goodness, Standing Bear's cells, the water in his being must have looked just like this, because he lived with so much love and gratitude running through his whole being that he was a full body of these beautiful water crystals. So as I am playing this short piece, which has flute in it as well, just feel him playing, and please just use this as a portal to send your love and gratitude for his beautiful life and his beautiful heart. Here we go.
Okay, cool. Yeah, send it back, guys. Send love back. Okay.
Yeah, just send it out. Send it out. Use this as a portal. And as you hear the flute play during the bridge, just feel him. Feel him. Here we go. Golden flower in bloom, bring us peace tonight, flow from me to you, words of purest crystals in your gaze to remind our hearts we open in your name. And when we start to fall, when we lose the calm, there's nothing more to do than call on you, love and gratitude. And when we start to fall, and when we lose the calm, there's nothing more to do than call on you, love and gratitude. When we forget to see our soul's deep mystery, there's nothing more to do than call on you, love and gratitude, love and gratitude. Standing there, thank you. Love and gratitude. Love you so much, Standing Bear. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your beautiful light, for your beautiful heart. Thank you, Zenka.
Thank you so much, Kristen. You know, he used to wake up at 3 a.m. to pray and give gratitude before his 5 a.m. We Are the Medicine call. And I'm just feeling a lot of gratitude for Jenny Jones, for his director of We Are the Medicine, who's been doing 20 to 23 calls per month for 10 years, supporting healing in circles with conversation and listening. And I also want to thank grandfather Tony for being his incredible role model and teaching him the indigenous ways that he knew nothing about before meeting him. I want to also thank his family, his brothers and sisters, and his parents, both of them. So thank you, Kristen. Thank you for bringing some of our gratitude and amazement and appreciation for him in a song. And have a great trip. And thank you so much for being here and gracing us with your presence tonight.
Oh,
we love
it's
you.
just completely an honor to be here and remember and send our love to Standing Bear and to you, Zenka, to you, because I know it's how hard it is to be the one who's still here in the body, and yet he's with you, as everyone has said. He's with you, sister, and working through you in all new ways. So
thank you so much. You know, in your song that you just sung, it says like, when the great mystery makes no sense, the only thing to do is feel gratitude and love. And I think there's going to be a lot of things the coming years that are going to feel like they don't make sense. But the energy we're going to be holding on to is going to be what we do have and where we are going and all the love that's going to get us there. Tara and then Tom.
Hi. I'd like to, first of all, give you my condolences for Thomas and to you for your profound loss. You know, we feel it, but wow, for you, can imagine. For me, when I heard about it, I just completely broke down and had a complete silent, ugly cry. And my husband came in and held me. He's not. I'm an advocate for Sasquatch. He supports me in that, but he's not into that, but he supports me. And I just can't imagine what it's like for you, Zeka and Thomas. I met him at the Sasquatch family reunion last year. And, like people have been saying, it was like you meet the man and there's just something that about him that it just transcends. It's hard to put into words. We all know that. We know what it is. A few things that happened that weekend. A lot of things happened that weekend, but a few things that of note. I had Troy Bacon and I did a music bath, and he laid there on his back, just laid there on his back, enjoying it, And that was lovely. You see a picture in the photos of him laying there in front of a big teepee, and that was that. And then later, and there was a photo of him playing the flute that it was taken from his right side. Now, that was probably one of the best pictures I've ever taken, that I will ever take, because it really captures his essence, doesn't it? It came up behind him and took that. And he's like, he just kind of, and then he went with it. He was playing the flute for everybody in circle. And then, and he's so giving, so giving. And then, another thing that he did which was huge for Troy in particular. We went into the teepee, the three of us, and he performed ceremony for us, in particular for Troy. And he encouraged Troy to move beyond where he was now, because Troy is a leader, Reiki and many Dragon Reiki, many abilities. Troy is now going to be holding his own his own gathering called Cosmic Congress, and he has me as his backup, his assistant, So it was Standing Bear, and without Standing Bear, Troy said that Cosmic Congress would never have happened. So it will be happening in August at Dragon's Gate Gardens, and Troy isn't on here right now, so I just want to thank Standing Bear for that. And lastly, I don't know, it was a couple of weeks ago, lying in bed, quieting my mind, and I felt led to just talk to him, and I did. And I asked him a question, a personal question, and a thought not my own dropped in my head, and he answered it. I'm like, oh, I thought that was really sweet. That was really sweet. I want to say that he sent me some pictures of him, of his home. He was standing there and he had his drums and things on the wall. That was so sweet of him. What a wonderful person. What a wonderful man he is. Not the 3D man, but the soul. And how blessed are we to have known this man, right? Thank you, Zenka.
Thank you so much for your share. That was beautiful. Amazing. Tom, you get the last word here. Thank you for being with us tonight. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, Zenka, and everybody here. My last word is just that: gratitude and thanks. I grew up with Wayne. We went to each other's weddings. We knew each other all of our lives, and this community, and each of you were so important to him. And so, thank you for your love, for your remembrances, your stories, the beautiful singing. Uh, they mean a tremendous amount to me, and I know they mean a tremendous amount to him. So thank you again for being here and for thinking of him. Thank you, Zenka.
Thank you, Tom. Okay, everybody, if we could all put our hands on our heart here. I just want to read in his book what today's quote is. Love is so powerful. If it is shared anywhere, it will affect everything, everywhere. Let's just close our eyes right now and send him some love for touching our lives and lifting the world in the way that he did. Thank you for being a part of our lives. Thank you, everybody, for coming. I'll be sending out the archives of this and some other interviews and ceremonies as they come up. And thank you so much for being here tonight. Good night.